Ladies and gentlemen, friends and fellow seekers of truth, we are gathered here today to explore one of the most misunderstood and misinterpreted aspects of life: our work, our purpose, and the meaning behind the daily grind. Too often we hear people say, "I'm just looking for a job," or "I'm stuck in this work because I need the paycheck." But today, I want to tell you something different, something revolutionary. What if I told you that the very idea of looking for a job is what's holding you back from discovering your true purpose in life? What if I told you that God didn't design you merely to find a job and get lost in a life of survival? No, my friends, God has a much bigger vision for you, a vision that transcends the mundane and lifts you beyond the limitations of mere employment. Today, we are going to reframe how we see work, ambition, and our personal journeys. This message will shake the very foundation of how you view your daily labor and your purpose. After this, I promise you will never look at work the same way again. Let me start by painting a picture. The world tells you go to school, get a degree, and land a job. We are taught to chase titles, climb ladders, and measure success by how high we can rise within someone else's company or organization. We are told to find a job as if our purpose and identity are wrapped up in a title and a paycheck. But here's the truth. This is not the life God has envisioned for you. Many of you have felt the weight of this mentality. You may have experienced the frustration of finding a job that doesn't bring you joy, that doesn't make your heart sing. You may be stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction, always searching for something more, but never feeling truly fulfilled. I'm here to tell you, it's not about finding a job. It's about finding your calling. God didn't create you to be a cog in a machine. You are not meant to be lost in a dead-end position, chasing a paycheck at the expense of your happiness. God's plan for your life is far greater than that. Now, hear me. It's about creating something that matters, no matter how small it may seem. I know many of you might be thinking, but what if I don't know what my calling is yet? Or what if I'm scared to leave my job to pursue something bigger? I understand that fear. The unknown is intimidating. But let me tell you something. God does not call you to be stagnant. He calls you to grow, to evolve, and to step into a greater version of yourself. If you've been feeling unsettled, dissatisfied, or unfulfilled in your work, that might be a sign that God is preparing you for something greater. The discomfort you feel could be the stirring of a divine calling, urging you to step out in faith and trust that something more awaits. Don't let fear paralyze you. Fear will always be there, trying to keep you stuck in what's familiar. But trust God's plan. He won't call you out of your current situation without providing a way forward. When you trust God and follow His guidance, you step into a place of peace and confidence. You might not see the entire path ahead, but you can trust that every step will bring you closer to fulfilling your purpose. Let's address a common misconception: the idea that pursuing your purpose means sacrificing comfort or ending up poor. Many associate purpose with sacrifice, the notion that you must give up comfort to live for something greater. But I'm here to tell you that your purpose is not a path to poverty. When you align your work with your calling, you tap into a flow of abundance God has promised you. Prosperity comes not only in money, but in fulfillment, joy, and peace, things that surpass any material wealth. When you serve others through your work, you become a magnet for all the good God has in store for you. Success doesn't have to be a struggle, nor come at the cost of your happiness or peace of mind. When you step into your calling, everything aligns. Opportunities open up, the right people come into your life, and doors that were once closed will open wide. You will walk through them with purpose and confidence. Here's the final truth I want to leave you with. Work is not just something we do to survive. Work is worship. Every task you undertake, no matter how small, is an opportunity to serve God and honor Him. When you do your work with excellence, love, and integrity, you are worshiping Creator. Your work reflects your heart, and it can be a beautiful offering to God. So next time you wake up in the morning, don't think of it as just another day of work. Think of it as another day to live out your purpose. See your work as an opportunity to serve, to grow, and to glorify God in everything you do. I challenge you today, friends, stop looking for a job to fill the emptiness inside. Stop letting the world tell you that your worth is tied to your paycheck or your title. Look inside yourself and find your calling. Pursue it with passion, purpose, and confidence that God is guiding you every step of the way. Let today be the day you shift your mindset. Let it be the day you stop getting lost in the maze of jobs and titles and start living the life of purpose God intended for you. This is your time. This is your moment. This is the work you were made to do. And remember, when you find your calling and step into the life God designed for you, you will never look at work the same way again. And the ways you can serve others, ways only you can. A job, as society defines it, may provide temporary financial security, but cannot give you the deeper sense of meaning and fulfillment that comes from living your true purpose. God has designed each of us with unique talents, interests, and abilities. When we shift our focus from merely finding a job to discovering our calling, we open ourselves to a life full of possibility. Instead of viewing work as a daily grind or a series of tasks to endure, we can approach it with excitement and purpose, knowing we are contributing to something bigger than ourselves. This change in perspective helps us recognize the potential in every situation. It allows us to see opportunities for growth and understand that even the smallest actions can have profound significance when done with intention and love. Moreover, when we focus on our calling rather than just finding employment, we free ourselves from the fear of inadequacy or failure that often comes with job hunting. The anxiety of securing a job is replaced by the peace of knowing we are on the path to something more meaningful. We realize we don't need to settle for any job just because it pays the bills. We can choose to pursue work that aligns with our values, passions, and abilities, work that truly speaks to who we are. As we grow in understanding our true purpose, we may find that our work takes many forms throughout our lives. The job we hold today might not be the same one we hold tomorrow, but as long as we stay focused on our calling, we are moving toward a more fulfilling and impactful life. And when our work aligns with our purpose, we not only feel more connected to it, but we also find joy in serving others, knowing we are fulfilling the greater plan God has set before us. So instead of simply asking, "What job can I get?" ask yourself, "What is my calling? What am I truly meant to do with my life?" When we shift our focus from seeking employment to discovering our purpose, we free ourselves from the limits of job titles and create a life rich with meaning, fulfillment, and divine purpose. In today's society, we are often taught to chase titles, paychecks, and external markers of success as the ultimate measures of achievement. From a young age, we're conditioned to believe our worth depends on positions we hold, the degrees we earn, and the salaries we make. The pursuit of a title seems to define success. Whether it's manager, CEO, or director, we're led to believe these labels represent the pinnacle of a successful life. But what if I told you that true fulfillment doesn't lie in the titles you hold, but in the deeper calling that resonates within your heart? God's plan for each of us is not about collecting titles, climbing ladders, or accumulating wealth. His design for our lives is much greater. God calls us to find our purpose, our true calling, and live it out in a way that serves others and brings glory to Him. When we focus only on titles and paychecks, we often miss the deeper, more fulfilling path God has planned for us. Titles are fleeting. They can change with promotion, a job change, or a shift in the organization. But our purpose, the calling we were created to fulfill, remains constant. It is deeply rooted in who we are and the unique gifts and passions God has given us. It carries the potential to impact the world in ways that transcend any title. You see, a title is something external. It's a label others place on you based on your role or position, but a calling is internal. It is a deep, personal understanding of your purpose in this life, an understanding that comes from knowing the gifts, talents, and passions God has uniquely given you. When you discover your calling, it resonates within you in a way no title ever can. A title may bring recognition or admiration, but your calling brings fulfillment, meaning, and joy that no title can provide. Too often, people fall into the trap of chasing jobs just to survive, pay bills, or meet societal expectations. It's easy to get swept up in the pursuit of external success, thinking that if we land the right job or earn the right paycheck, everything will fall into place. But in doing so, we lose sight of the deeper purpose God has called us to fulfill. The danger is measuring our lives by external markers instead of the internal satisfaction that comes from living aligned with our purpose. Your purpose isn't defined by a job title. It's defined by how you use your gifts and passions to make a difference in others' lives. It's about using the talents God has given you to serve, inspire, and help others grow. When you focus on your true calling, you stop worrying about titles and start focusing on the impact you can make. Instead of seeing work as a means to an end, you begin to see it as living out your divine purpose, no matter what form that work takes. Remember, a calling can take many forms. It doesn't always come with a high-paying job or a prestigious title. You may find your calling in quiet service, teaching, creating, leading, or simply being present with someone who needs support. The beauty of a calling is that it doesn't depend on how the world sees you. It depends on how you see yourself and how you answer God's call to make a difference with the gifts He's given you. The journey toward fulfilling your calling is often about discovering who you truly are and embracing how God uniquely created you to serve the world. It's not about chasing titles or recognition. It's about being faithful to the purpose placed in your heart. When you embrace your calling, you'll find that the job title you once thought you needed becomes less important. You'll experience deeper joy, fulfillment, and peace. Know you are living God's will for your life. So I challenge you today. Look beyond titles and paychecks. Ask yourself, what is my true calling? What gifts and passions has God given me to serve others? When you stop focusing on external validation and start focusing on your internal purpose, you will live a life far richer and more meaningful than any title could ever provide. Your purpose is where your true value lies, and when you pursue it, everything else will fall into place. Too often, we treat work as just a task to complete, a means to an end, or a necessity to survive. We think in terms of paychecks, deadlines, and goals. While these are part of work, they don't capture its true essence. True fulfillment doesn't come from the job itself. It comes from understanding that work is an opportunity to serve others. When we see our work as an extension of our calling to serve, it transforms from a job into a powerful expression of purpose. At the heart of every meaningful job, whether in a boardroom, classroom, or factory floor, is a chance to make a difference in someone else's life. Our work, regardless of the field or task, has the potential to serve others and meet their needs. This could be as simple as offering a friendly greeting to a customer, helping a colleague solve a problem, or creating something that improves the lives of those around us. Though the work might sometimes seem mundane or repetitive, when we reframe it as service, it takes on deeper meaning. When we start to view work as service, it shifts from something we endure to something we embrace with joy. We don't just show up to fulfill obligations or collect a paycheck. We show up knowing our work contributes to a larger purpose. It's about making a positive impact through quality of service, kindness, and value we bring to the world. Consider someone working in customer service. If they see their job only as answering calls and questions, it can feel monotonous and draining. But if they see it as an opportunity to help others resolve issues and make someone's day easier, their perspective changes. They're no longer just doing a job. They're offering a meaningful service that impacts others, makes a difference in the lives of people. Even the smallest interactions become meaningful when viewed through the lens of service. The same principle applies no matter what your job is. Whether you're a teacher, a doctor, an artist, a mechanic, or a janitor, your work can serve a greater purpose. A teacher who inspires students isn't just delivering lessons. They're shaping the future and empowering young minds. A doctor who cares for patients isn't just performing medical procedures. They're healing and restoring lives. Every profession, every role, has the potential to serve others, and impact lives in ways we may not always see directly, but can always trust are making a difference. When we begin to approach our work with a mindset of service, we stop thinking about it as a task we have to endure. Instead, we see it as an opportunity to make a difference. And this shift in perspective brings fulfillment. Fulfillment doesn't come from external rewards or recognition. It comes from knowing you are living in alignment with your calling, serving others with the gifts you've been given. This service mentality also transforms how we view others in the workplace. When we recognize that everyone has a unique role to play in the bigger picture, we begin to respect the value each person brings. The person cleaning the office, the one answering the phones, the manager making decisions. They are all part of the same team, each contributing in their own way to the collective good. We learn to appreciate the importance of every role, big or small. This fosters a sense of unity and purpose within the workplace. Furthermore, when we embrace the idea that work is service, we focus less on what we can get from our jobs and more on what we can give. We start to view work as an offering, a way to bless others, contribute to the greater good, and live out our purpose. This mindset shifts us away from selfishness toward community and interconnectedness. We see that work isn't just about personal success or financial gain. It's about how we can help others make their lives better and contribute to the world around us. Ultimately, work as service means recognizing that true fulfillment comes from the difference we make in others' lives. No matter how big or small the task, when we serve through our work, we not only make a positive impact, but we also experience a sense of purpose and fulfillment no job title or paycheck can provide. The joy of serving others is the greatest reward, and it is available to all of us, no matter what work we do. So, the next time you step into your workday, remember, you're not just working for a paycheck. You're working to serve others, and in doing so, fulfilling your highest calling. You might be familiar with the paralyzing grip of doubt that sneaks in when you think about stepping into something new, something bigger than what you've known. It whispers things like, what if I'm not good enough? Or what if I fail? These voices of fear and doubt are a natural response when we face uncertainty. But what if, instead of letting fear control you, you use it as an opportunity to grow in trust and faith? What if you took a step forward despite the fear, knowing God is right beside you, guiding every move? Fear often arises because we feel unqualified or unprepared. When pursuing your call, you might ask, am I really capable? Do I have what it takes? It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you need everything figured out before taking the first step. But here's the truth. God doesn't always reveal the full plan all at once. Sometimes, He calls us to step out in faith, one step at a time, trusting He will provide the wisdom, strength, and courage we need along the way. Consider the story of Peter stepping out of the boat to walk on water. When Peter saw Jesus walking on water, he felt awe and fear. But Jesus called him to step out and do the impossible. As long as Peter kept his eyes on Jesus and trusted Him, he was able to walk on water. It was only when Peter took his eyes off Jesus and let fear overwhelm him that he began to sink. This story reminds us that overcoming fear and doubt depends on keeping our eyes fixed on God and trusting His power. The fear you feel when stepping into your calling is not a sign to retreat. It's often a sign you're on the verge of something great, something that requires growth and faith. God doesn't call us to comfort zones. He calls us to stretch beyond what we think we can do. The more we trust Him and step out in faith, the more we discover our strength, resilience, and purpose. When fear arises, remember it's not a reason to stop, but an invitation to grow. Trusting God's plan means knowing He has equipped you for the work ahead. Even if you don't feel ready, He knows the end from the beginning and is already preparing the way. Fear tries to keep us stuck in the familiar, but God's calling always leads us to something greater. Doubt doesn't mean you're not walking in faith. It's part of the journey, a natural response to the unknown. True faith is not the absence of doubt. It's the willingness to act despite it. When you trust God's guidance, even amid fear and doubt, you open yourself to growth that comes through following His plan. The more you step out in faith, the more you'll see your fear fade in the light of God's provision and faithfulness. Remember, God never calls us to a task without providing the strength and tools to complete it. If He's placed a calling on your heart, trust He will equip you every step of the way. It's not about your strength. It's about trusting the strength of the one who called you. Fear and doubt are temporary, but fulfillment, joy, and peace of walking in God's plan are eternal. So I encourage you today, don't let fear hold you back from your calling. Even when doubt creeps in, remember God is with you, guiding and empowering you. Trust His plan, and you'll find the path He leads you on is one of growth, confidence, and deep fulfillment. The fulfillment of your purpose begins when you step out in faith, Trusting God will carry you every step. When we think about pursuing our calling, it's easy to believe it means a life of sacrifice and struggle. Society often paints following your purpose as giving up material success, wealth, or comfort. People say things like, "You can't make money doing what you love," or "Success comes at the cost of passion." But this couldn't be further from the truth. When you align your work with your purpose, it unlocks not only fulfillment but abundance. Abundance that goes far beyond money. The idea that pursuing your calling means giving up prosperity comes from scarcity thinking, believing there's a limited amount of success, happiness, or resources, and to have one, you must forfeit the other. But God's plan is one of abundance. When we step into the calling God has placed on our hearts, we open ourselves to abundant opportunities, resources, and blessings flowing from living in alignment with our purpose. Think of the many people in history who pursued their calling and experienced abundance, not just financially, but in impact. Whether an artist, teacher, business leader, or humanitarian, those who align their work with purpose tap into a flow of resources supporting their journey. This abundance comes not just as money, but as opportunities, connections, growth, and fulfillment. When you pursue your calling with passion and dedication, you naturally attract the right people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your mission. Open doors that aren't just about financial gain. They're about fulfilling your greater purpose. The more you embrace your calling, the more the world responds with opportunities to support, expand, and amplify your work. This is how abundance works when aligned with purpose. It's not just about accumulating wealth. It's about living a life that reflects your true gifts and serves others in meaningful ways. God has designed each of us with unique talents and passions. When we align our work with these gifts, we tap into the fullness of who we were meant to be. This alignment brings fulfillment that far exceeds the fleeting satisfaction financial success alone can provide. True abundance comes from doing what you were created to do, and knowing your work contributes to something bigger than yourself. Abundance isn't just a material concept. It's holistic. It's the peace from living out your purpose. It's the joy flowing from seeing your positive impact on others. It's the fulfillment that comes from contributing to the greater good. And yes, it also includes the financial rewards that come when you are fully aligned with your purpose. When you work from a place of passion and authenticity, the resources you need, whether money, time, or support, are more likely to flow toward you. We've seen countless examples of people who found financial success and fulfillment by aligning their work with their calling. Think of entrepreneurs who turn passions into thriving businesses, teachers who profoundly impact students, or nonprofit leaders who build organizations that change lives. These individuals have unlocked abundance in many forms, not just personal wealth, but also in the impact they've made, the relationships they've built, and the deep satisfaction from living aligned with their true purpose. Living with purpose creates a mindset of abundance, allowing us to see opportunities where others see obstacles. When you're on the path to your calling, challenges become stepping stones, not roadblocks. You begin to view every situation, person, and challenge as an opportunity to learn, grow, and expand your impact. This mindset shift is key to unlocking abundance in all areas of life. The financial rewards that come from pursuing your calling aren't signs of greed or selfishness. They're the natural result of doing work aligned with your divine purpose. When you serve others and contribute value, people recognize it and willingly exchange resources in return, whether paying for your services, buying your products, or investing in your vision. Abundance flows when your work aligns with your calling. Ultimately, pursuing your purpose doesn't mean sacrificing success or living in lack. It opens doors to a life rich in what matters most: fulfillment, impact, joy, and yes, financial abundance. When you live aligned with your calling, you not only fulfill your divine purpose, but are supported by the universe in ways beyond what you imagined. This is a power of purpose. It leads to abundance in every sense. When embraced fully, the possibilities are endless. Underscore, 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 underscore. Every day we wake and go about routines. Some tasks exciting, others mundane or repetitive. Whether answering emails, attending meetings, managing schedules, or even cleaning and organizing, much of our work can seem disconnected from a higher purpose. But what if I told you every task, no matter how small, can be an opportunity to serve God? What if every action could be an offering of worship? This perspective, when embraced, transforms how we view our work and the impact we have. Work, in its truest form, is more than a means to an end. It's a platform for honoring God. In Colossians, we are told, "Whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you receive the inheritance as your reward." You are serving the Lord Christ. This simple yet profound truth shifts our understanding of work. No matter the task, when done with excellence and a heart of service, we're not just working for a paycheck, a boss, or recognition. We're serving God directly. When we approach work this way, everything changes. Ordinary daily tasks become opportunities to express devotion, dedication, and love for God. Whether cooking a meal, organizing a workspace, assisting a client, or leading a team, you offer your work to God as worship. Done with excellence, integrity, and a servant heart, these activities honor Him. Excellence in work doesn't mean perfection. It means giving your best effort, focusing on details, and doing it with a pure heart. When you give your best in every area, you declare God deserves nothing less than your highest effort. Excellence reflects God's character in you, showcasing the gifts He's given and bringing glory to His name. Whether solving complex problems, serving customers, or cleaning floors, performing your work with a heart of service is an offering to God. Every action, no matter how mundane, can honor Him. Think about it. When we approach work with a heart of service, we create an atmosphere of love, respect, and care. How we treat others through work reflects how God treats us. If we serve others with kindness, patience, and empathy, we act in accordance with God's love. Jesus said, "Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." This verse reminds us even the smallest acts of service, done with the right heart, are deeply significant to God. When we serve others, we serve Him. The profound beauty in seeing work as worship. It frees us from thinking work is just a burden, a paycheck, or something to endure. Instead, it becomes a sacred privilege, a way to glorify God in all we do. No task is too small, no role insignificant in contributing to His purpose. Whether business executive, stay-at-home parent, teacher, doctor, janitor, or student, your work can be worship. God uniquely places each of us where we can reflect His glory and use our gifts to serve His kingdom. Underscore, 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 underscore. Approaching work as worship helps us keep the right perspective. There will be times when work feels overwhelming, frustrating, or exhausting. But remembering work is worship renews us. Instead of focusing on difficulty or thanklessness, we focus on who we ultimately serve. In moments of struggle or fatigue, we can offer work to God as trust, saying, "God, I am doing this for you. I may not see the end result, but I trust you are using my efforts for your glory." Seeing work as worship reshapes how we view success. The world often defines success by titles, salaries, or accolades. God defines success differently. True success in His eyes comes from faithfulness to the tasks given, from serving others with love and excellence, and bringing glory to His name through every action. When we work to honor Him, we are successful regardless of outcomes. Underscore, 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 underscore. So, the next time you struggle with a task or feel unnoticed, remember, every task is an opportunity to honor God. You don't need a pulpit ministry or stage to worship Him. Wherever you are, whatever you do, you can make your work worship. When you do, your work becomes more than a means to an end. It becomes a sacred expression of devotion, a way to glorify God, and a channel for His love and grace in the world. When we live this way, every day offers a chance to give our best to God. And through that, we experience the deep fulfillment of knowing our work has eternal significance. Your work isn't just about results. It's about the heart with which you do it. So work with excellence. Serve with joy and know that in everything you do, you worship God and reflect His glory.